Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly I'm not half the man I used to be. There's a shadow hanging over me. Oh, yesterday came suddenly. Why she had to go, I don't know. She wouldn't say. I said something wrong. Now I long for yesterday. Yesterday, love was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Had to go, I don't know. She wouldn't say. I said something wrong. Now I long for yesterday. Yesterday, love was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday.
Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Community Pulse, the 29th edition. Let me bring myself up here. Thank you all for coming out. I wasn't sure if this was going to go on. I got hit with a pretty wicked flu for the last couple of days, but I feel a lot better now, and all is good to go. Thank you all for coming out. We've got another amazing show here tonight. As you can tell on that ticker at the bottom, we have Chad Freeman co-hosting Son of Snake. I'm really excited to get to know Chris a lot more, and I'm sure many of you are out there. He's a brilliant musician, and Chad's just a class act, as we all know. That opening song, thank you, Emery Island, for allowing us to play that. And that was obviously a Beatles cover titled Yesterday. And I think I listened to it last week, and I had to bring it up on this week's. I was going to have it opening last week's show, but I just had to have it for this week's opener. Means a lot to me. And it's a great track. Thank you, Emery. And as you all know, the feature channel for this week is going to be the Lily Pillies. I have it pinned at the top. I've got a little intro. I want to do that, and then we can get on with the show. Let me bring up a little montage I made for Manny.
We wanna be loved. There are bleeding hearts that are torn apart. All around the world, better days gonna come our way. We're gonna be okay. We're living in the darkest times. Remember the days left behind. Confused with everyone telling us what's wrong or right. Long time, we should know what we're living for. I'll see you again. You're going home on the last day of summer. Open your heart and take me with you today. In the summertime, the world revolves around you every single time. It's plain to see your instinct tells you that you're right. But don't you see that there is I'm losing my mind, losing my mind. It's alright. These are the things that keep me up at night. Don't worry, hey, when I'm losing my mind, losing my mind. It's all in a land far away and was brought up a different way. Packed a suitcase filled with hopes and dreams, just me without my family. Had to say goodbye not knowing when I'd see everybody again. Rewrite your story and get redemption. Time may be slipping away, it's not too late to start again. Dance the way it makes him happy. Talk like original singers do. Tell all the words you wanna tell him. The choice is yours to walk from days of sin. Take a step back, we'll see that what we got is a lot. All the useless information going round and round inside my head, and it breaks my motivation. I just wanna keep the good instead, but I think our time is coming. Gotta change the way. Maybe tomorrow, or someday in June. Even a wallflower
Yep, and that's the Lily Pillies. Good friend of so many, to so many in this community. Well done, Manny and friends. That was fantastic. And that'll stay pinned at the top. So please, throughout the show, if anybody hasn't, for whatever reason, subbed to the Lily Pillies, you must. So I want to start off the show by mentioning those the seven pillars that I call in the community, which starts off that you saw in the intro, which starts off with Metalhead Hippie. These are all the channels that have helped my channel grow, and so many other channels out there that I see here tonight. Without these guys, many of us, our music wouldn't have been heard. No doubt in my mind. Metalhead Hippie every Friday at 4 p.m. He's got the 907 Global Music Co-op. Let's see how long my voice lasts for. We got Pete John Sunday at 7 p.m. That's the YML Your Music Live show. Thomas Christ, You Rock is every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Both those channels, Pete Johns and Thomas Christ, you submit, fill out a form and submit it, and they'll play your music. Metalhead Hippie, you go on his channel and you'll find his email, and you do so that way. And then we have Jade Starr. She has an incredible live weekly interviews. She interviewed me, I think it was a couple Septembers ago, and she interviewed our artist here tonight as well. Jade's an amazing interviewer. She is on live pretty much all week long. Please go check out and support Jade Starr if you haven't already. Independent Many United, welcome back. She had her 50th shindig, and it was a lot of fun this Friday. I got up to play and perform and support and be part of. It was great stuff. Chad Freeman, our co-host, the Ham Sunday on Sunday, 10 p.m. every Sunday, episode number 12 coming up, and we have the link that we're posting there now. Independent 15th Bend Thursday. He took last Thursday off, and he will be back this Thursday, 9 p.m. Please follow that link and go check that out. And yeah, so any of these stations that channels that you want your music heard to, please reach out and submit. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of things that I've missed throughout the week because I hadn't been feeling well. And yeah, so let's just get through this, and I'm going to bring up Mr. Chad Freeman now and get the show on the road. Chad, how we doing, buddy? And maybe I should unmute. That would just be polite of me.
Hello. How's it going, Frank? I'm so happy to be here.
Oh my God, yeah. No, I'm really excited to have you on. You know, I didn't want to say this in the back, but it was your initiative that was trying to bring the community together sometime back, and don't think I forgot, and I wanted to mention it tonight, that brought on this idea. Folk Punk and I grew from that. So I owe you a lot of thanks and gratitude for just that thought of bringing the community together. I thought, how brilliant. It ended, I don't think you took it much further than that, but I think at that time it was needed and you got something across, and well done. And so I want to mention that.
A spark to get it going in some direction. I'm happy with that. And as I was saying backstage, this is amazing what you're doing, and I know it's so much hard work. It's a lot tougher than it looks, and so much respect for what you do. Really, so much. And there's always going to be people that are forgotten or are not mentioned by accident, and there's always going to be hurt feelings. But I think for the most part, people realize what you're trying to do, and I think everybody should just get on board and help out as much as, and like what you told me, it's not your show, it's the community show. And I'm going to do what I can to try to get more involved with the show and start bringing more people over, like we're already talking about one in November, so
Yeah.
maybe I can start trying to do that every month. So
Yeah.
but yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. No, that's fantastic. I'm looking forward to November. You can go ahead and announce the name if you like. Yeah.
Well, Tabitha Raines is going to be on the show in November when I come back. So, huge fan of her. Huge fan of Son of Snake as well. Nobody better, I think, to do the first co-host than Son of Snake, because he's somebody that he came into the community about the time that I did, and even went back and looked. It was February of 2023 that I reached out to him. It's before I even started any streaming. I slowly started doing some streaming in March, and then things have just kind of progressed and took off from there. But yeah. So I think it's, just like with anybody that's out there that's doing music, streaming is, it's a learning process, and you
Yeah.
learn as you go. And as long as you're doing and trying to get better and trying to learn from what you've done, you're going to get better. And, it's just keep the ball rolling forward. That's the best thing.
No, I love
Um,
the energy you have in your streams. I think it's a lot. They're a lot of fun, but I also do want you to mention your other shows that
Yeah,
you
so
have.
so
Mhm.
let me real quick talk about, because the ham show on Saturday, that's my baby, that's my show, and I do want to bring that back. I had to step away from that. Basically, my fiance's dad got really sick, and then he passed away, and then we're just going through basically a revamping his house, and just lots of things going on Saturday. So I can't do that show. I don't have the time, the energy. So I had to step away from it, and then I decided to do this Sunday show, and it's basically it's a request kind of show. I called it the Ham Sunday,
Mm.
because everybody likes their Sunday a different way. Some people like bananas, some people like nuts, some people like chocolate. You can make Sundays all kinds of different ways. So with this, I thought every week we'll build a Sunday together. You got to bring your own ice cream, but people from the chat can come and they can request music, or if it's an artist and they show up, I can play one of their links. And it's just a fun way to build a playlist live. Whereas like the Saturday show, I always programmed it. I had a theme, and just it took a lot of time and energy and a lot of contacting people and being in touch with. So just that's on pause. But Tuesday, because I had met Carrie, a Curiosity Corner,
Hmm.
and we had we're on panel on some other shows together, and we really worked together really well. So we decided to do green eggs and ham, and the concept is to incorporate more than just indie music, to go bigger than that, but using the same mentality of um, you know, there's nothing to be jealous of. That's where the green eggs comes in, the green for being jealous. That you can always find an appreciation, even if it's something you don't like, and there's no reason to ever I guess, hate on somebody or something, and look for the ways to embrace it and to enjoy whatever it is. And so with that, we do movies once a month. We do
Yeah,
all
saw
sorts of
that.
different things. We do lists of you know. Epic rappers and whatever. We go in all sorts of directions, and we've had guests on like the real foil face, and we've done comedy and various things. So with Ham Sunday and Green Eggs and Ham in October, I'm doing a Halloween push. All 9 shows that I'm doing in October are going to be Halloween themed. We're calling it Hamtober. And so we're doing a panel on witches, which Allie Strong, she's going to be a part of that. So as we're playing in Scars and Shadows and a couple of other people.
Oh, that's
And then
awesome.
we're going to do a also in October a Who's That Artist special scary edition. It'll be all kind of Halloween themed songs, which that's a, if nobody's seen that, it's a game show where I take artists of the community that I had played on the Saturday Ham show, play a clip of their music, and then after that do a photo from AI representing them, and then a chat GPT riddle, and then see if the panel in the chat can guess who it is. It's a lot of fun. And then we're doing a Halloween party October 29th with costumes and karaoke and open mic. And on Sunday in October, I do what's called double scoops, where I play twofers of artists. It's going to be spooky double scoop, so every episode is going to be Halloween themed. And then also I'm doing field trips, and these are called frightening field trips. So they're going to be field trips basically where world premiere video on somebody's channel, we go over to that, watch it, and then come back to the show afterwards. They're all going to be Halloween themed as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun in October, and I'm launching all of that tomorrow night with the Green Eggs and Ham show.
You got your hands full in October, and that's
yeah. Well,
cool.
I love October. I love October. It's my thing. When I did a film festival back in the day, that's when I did it. Was October. I just absolutely love October. So,
well, that's fantastic. So, yeah, it was a no-brainer. It was both. I think Chris can attest to. I don't think I've missed one of their songs, one of his songs, in I don't know how long. If I didn't show up at the premiere, it was within 24 hours, I'd be on that song.
right.
And it was a no-brainer for me to have him on. And then there you are. It's like, what a perfect match, having you and Chris on together. And we're not going to keep them backstage anymore much longer. And we're going to have 7 full songs with
Yes.
Son of Snake. I'm going to do
Hey,
it like
hey.
this. I'm going to bring the man of the hour, 2 hours in the middle.
Hello.
Maybe I should unmute him because that's the kind thing to do. Wait a second. Why can't I unmute? There we go.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep,
Yes.
Yep, we got you. Great to see you, Chris. Yeah,
You
I've been on many panels with Chris, but it's still been. We were talking. I think it's since last Halloween that we were on a panel together. So it's been a while.
It could be. It could be. I don't
Yeah.
know when the punk show was, but it could have been then too. But
Yeah.
thanks for having me, both of you, Frank especially. You know, it's an honor to be here.
It's an honor to have you, man.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah. You're a brilliant artist, and
Oh,
I need to
thank
get
you.
to know you a little bit more. And I'm really excited to have you on. And yeah, so let's. I'm going to let Chad take away all of whatever questions you have, and I'm going to listen in. And every once in a while, I'm going to jump in and have my own questions and try to follow with the chat and see what they're saying. How they're enjoying this. Hello, Allie.
Were we gonna jump to one of his songs to get us going, or
Let's
we
do
wanna-
it.
Okay.
Perfect. So yes,
There's Allie.
there you go. You see, you took notes of what I said. If I don't write it down.
Yeah.
All right. So we start off the show. Obviously, the co-host has his or her choice of whatever they're performing. Chad decided to choose one of Chris's, Son of Snake's songs himself that Chris hadn't chosen, and so I followed suit and I chose one as well. So we're gonna have 7 tracks being played. This one that we have on cue,
Awesome.
yeah, is I'd Rather Live Lift You Up. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? This is Chad's pick.
Well, this song I wrote after I kind of ran into someone who was sort of an old crusty punk rocker that was kind of complaining about where the bands have gone. Like there's been a lot of reunion bands that have kind of come back from the dead, if you will. And one of this bands was called RKL, this band that I just kind of growing up, that was it. It changed the game of punk rock. It was okay to be technical once they came out. But this guy was complaining because an original member wasn't in it or something like that. He was just sort of doing nothing but talking bad. I'm like, man, you should be celebrating that this awesome band is doing it again.
Right.
So I right away, I was like, okay, I need to write a song about this. so it's kind of about that. And there is a lot of crusty old punk rockers nowadays, the guys that have sore hips and sore backs are just sort of crusty old punk rockers now. And I guess that's in every group, but now they're in the punk rock scene. So
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, is that it applies to any group of people. There's always those people that are just, would rather be negative and mad about something instead of being positive about it. And I think
for me, I was just stoked that my favorite band from high school was touring again and possibly doing a new record. And they don't have original members because they have passed away. So you have to have new members, if you want to do it. So
yeah.
So it was about that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's have a listen.
Cool.
Please let me not be an old cricket punk. I don't want to still try and act tough and drunk. I don't want to drag you down with a word. Sit there, complain. I don't want to drain your energy. Got the walk in a blood club. Not so hard to stay relevant. Well, now I cannot see how you can still be such a jerk. My back hurts, but you're not to blame. It's the stupid things I did, now it's time to move on. I want to lift you up, not shoot you down. I guess that's just the way I am, man. I'm okay with it. I'd rather root you on and ruin this. But it's not gonna mean something to someone. Walk home and have the devil blast. We are just figments of the past. Their thoughts have a right to walk the way they used to do. I'm okay with it. I can deal with it. Don't wanna be a Debbie Downer. I'm good with it. I don't wanna be a shitbird, an angry little turd. I don't wanna drag you down. I'd rather lift you up. If I'm into it, now we're down that road. I'm okay with it. I can deal with it. Don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I'm okay with it. Don't want to be a shitbird, an angry little turd. I'm okay with it. I can deal with it. I'm all good with it. I'm okay with it. I can deal with it. I'm all good with it. I don't want to be a shitbird. I don't want to be a shitbird. I don't want to be a shitbird. An angry little turd.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for playing.
Love that one. Love that one. Such
So
a
I wrote that and I felt better afterwards. You know?
well. That's what I was going to say. You seem to have a couple of different types of songs that you do.
Yeah.
You know, you've got the kind of therapeutic like that one,
Mhm.
and then you've kind of got the kind of fantastical or supernatural,
Mhm.
and then you've got your spiritual.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit, I guess, about your inspirations and where they come from, and you know how you go about starting a
Okay.
song.
Well, I mean, you know, writing about spiritual stuff is fairly new for me. You know, about 5 or 6 years ago, my uncle Coyote Follows the Road, who is Lakota from Standing Rock, calls me and says, you know, and I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. Says, you know, where you been? We've been waiting for you. And I go, what? You know, I've never met the guy, so I'm like, you know, and I was raised by my stepdad, not my biological father, who's Native, you know, and I go, what do you mean? You know, actually, I call him back a couple of weeks later, and I said, well, what do you mean by that? And he goes, well, you know, our grandmother, your great grandmother, was what's known as a seer, and she had these abilities, if you will, and you know, she was Turtle Mountain Chippewa. He has both. The Chippewa side and the Lakota side. And he said that he would be the one to kind of bring the family home into some sort of faith. There'd be a lot of people in the family that grew up with no faith at all, actually anti-faith like I was, and that are going to need your help later on in life when they're ready to do it. So he was chosen when he was a little boy, that he would be the one. And she was a Christian, but she told him, you need to learn the old ways, because these people aren't going to fall into Christianity. They're not going to believe that way. Nothing against that at all, by the way. But so he did. He learned it as he got older. And he says, you know, and he gave me a couple songs to learn, pointed me in a direction of like ancestry.com to learn, because I had no idea what our bloodline was and everything. And I was still drinking at the time, and you know, smoking a lot of weed, and he said that if you want to do this the right way, you can't do any of that. So I thought about it, and I did want to do it because I had a pretty rough life most of my life, you know, especially I was a huge drinker, but I would do other things, you know, when I'd be drinking. So I kind of started learning. I started learning songs, and I wasn't really playing music at that time, except for learning like Lakota and Chippewa songs. And something happened to me. I had this, you could say it's a supernatural event. To me, it's just part of nature. And it sort of said, you need to do this. You need to still do this music, push it out, because the way I felt is that I have a lot of friends within the punk rock scene still that are really partying hard, even people my age. And a lot of them have died. There's been a lot of ODs and things like this that are, you know, do it in this style. So maybe it'll catch them in the ear, but then they'll listen to it a little bit deeper and hear what your meaning is. And this is after, you know, I stopped drinking, and, you know, I've been alcohol and free for a few years now, and also pot too, but and that's because I'm a pipe holder. I can't, you know, Chinoopa, being a Chinoopa holder, you can't do it because you'll upset the spirits, and things happen, man. Things can happen. So I just and I said, okay, you know, I'm going to do this thing. I bought an iPad. Well, actually, I got an iPad for Christmas one year, and that was Christmas 22 when I got it. So I started early 23.
Nice.
And I've recorded over 250 songs now. So I've just been on this kick.
Amazing.
Now you're just showing off.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm not.
No,
I'm not. Everyone at their own pace, and I
I
don't even
love it.
know. and a lot of
Yeah.
times when I'm writing songs, I'll just sit down, like a sit down where I'm sitting right here. I got my guitar right here and my amp over here and my interface up there, and I'll just do it. It just comes to me. Like, it's the way I figure is, these songs already exist and I'm just pulling them out from where they already exist. So
That's
I don't,
amazing.
and I used to, when I was playing in bands, I played in bands since, 86 or something like that, 87. But I'd always, write them and get all the parts because I'd have to show all the members everything. So I'd have it all figured out before I even went to band practice. And now I just I sit down and do it it just comes,
Right.
and I'll just, usually nowadays I'm a bass player, by heart, that's what I always played, but I play guitar and everything. And I'm a guitar player now too. But like nowadays I sit down on my guitar first and just play to this really basic drum track or even just a click track. And it just comes out and I just start layering, and usually it's, I do it late at night after, usually when people are in bed, and usually by the morning there's a song there without the vocals, So
And as far as like how you were saying, is that, the songs just kind of come to you. Is it kind of almost stream of consciousness as
yeah,
far as when
I
you're,
would say that. I don't really go into it with any sort of, I'm going to write a fast song, I'm going to write a slow
Right.
song, I'm going to write a song about this or that. I
Right.
just, it just comes. And that's
Right.
not really how it worked when I was younger. This is after
Right.
this weird thing happened to me. So,
right. Yeah.
and that there's a song about that event. I think it's Download with a Plan. If you go back into my catalog on YouTube, that song is about the event that got me started.
Nice.
So JJ has a question there. Is the snake your spirit guide?
No, I wouldn't say that. There's a couple of reasons I named it Son of Snake. There's a couple. So when I was younger, I always told this story about this old Unity skinhead, which is a non-racist skinhead from New York that I knew. And his name was Snake.
Mm-hmm.
And I would tell this story. This was in the 80s when I knew him. But about 20 years ago, I was telling the story to this group of people that I hung out with. And one of these guys started calling me Snake as a joke. And I have a tattoo of a snake. And they called me Snake because they'd always say, watch out, he's coiled up, he's ready to strike. Because I was kind of rough when we'd go out, And so all of a sudden, and I hated it back then. I didn't like the name. It's like, dude, I'm not Snake. This old guy is Snake that I knew in the 80s, But that became my dumb nickname for a while. But the Son of Snake is, I kind of use that also in there. But Son of Snake is an ancestral grandfather of mine on the Medeo-Compton side, the Dakota Sioux side, was named Wapasha. Ate Tonka Wamdushka, which means great father of snakes. And he was named that by the Chippewa, which I'm also Chippewa, but at that time on the upper Mississippi River, the Dakota and the Chippewa were actually intermarrying, and that's why I have both bloods. But before that, when they were warring, they called the Sioux is a Chippewa name. It means snakes in the grass. So they called him the great father of snakes because he was a chief. I mean, all that side, both sides, the Chippewa and the Dakota side, were all chiefs and country clan women. So it was really an ode to that lineage, which was kind of forgotten by most of my family. A lot of that wasn't known within my own family. So I kind of did the research, and I was like, it was an ode to that.
Well, and that's the really cool thing about that, is that basically the snake nickname when you were younger and the tattoo and all of that, it was just meant to be.
Yeah.
And then you
I
didn't
guess
find
so.
out till later.
I didn't
Yeah.
know. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
funny how things work, but yeah.
Yeah.
So it was
And
also, Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, a lot of my friends, I think, would get a kick out of it if I called it Son of Snake. They'd be all, because they'd be like, snake, snake, you know. So it was also that. But really, it was an ode to this ancestor, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of dual purpose name, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I hear
Shout out to
my-
Pam out in the chat.
I can
Yes.
hear them out there cracking up watching it on TV.
That's cool. I'm going to do a few shout outs here. And yes, welcome, Pam. Ali. So I'm going to start off with this week. We were talking backstage, and typical of me, last week I forgot to shout out my own premiere. And this week, because I was telling Chad, haha, look what I forgot last week, I just realized while we were talking, I didn't even put it on here as one of the premieres of last week. So I'm not going to sell myself short. Yes, I did have a premiere last week. It was called Like You, and the guys don't have the link because I didn't add it. But thank you all for showing up to the premiere. I want to start off with 4 songs here that we have hashtag Songtember, and we have one from Son of Snake. And I really appreciate you choosing that, and we'll talk about that in a bit. Ian Luckett had September Sky. Paul had Recipe for Love. I believe that's his first submission. Chandler Brothers, who's been submitting since day one. Circus World. Tom Carher, September Dreams, also been submitting since day one. Rose Ackerman, great to see you. I see you in the chat. She put a wonderful track called Con Man 2. Russ 8889, Perfect World. Camp G Maze and April Dawn, Stronger Person. Tales Told in the Dark. There's a real cool channel that you might like. I don't know. You might know Tales, Chris.
No.
Really cool stuff. This is a story. I was on her stream last night for a few minutes. I wasn't feeling good, but I just didn't want music. I just wanted something different. Fear the Wendigo. It's a mythical cannibalistic monster in the spiritual tradition of North American Algonquin-speaking tribes.
Yeah.
What a cool story. Of course, I liked it because it involved Canada. But
I know of that story. That's an old Ojibwa Anishinaabe story, and parts of Canada and Great Lakes, and very cool stuff, man.
Yeah, Wendigos is super cool.
And I believe that kind of thing is real. To me, there's things out there, man.
I believe that too.
Yeah.
Rose on a Jacket, and last week's featured artist, Folk Punk and Viv Sparrow, put Distant Melodies. And then Folk Punk released one on his channel, Distant Melodies, Slip Away also. Really cool stuff. I really appreciate them both. They're like family to me. Midnight Bandit, Scepter of Madness, D. Lynn, Gentle on My Mind. D had quite a few releases this week, so we chose this one, and she's going to be up next on the Community Pulse. Emery Island, Tears in Heaven. Neil Hahn's Dynasty, September 17th, 2024, My Baby. John Scher, Slow Dancing in a Burning Room. Boomster Black had quite a few releases this week. Stray Cat, Strut, Stray Cat's cover. Vertivox, B3 FR33B Free. Cool track. Something unique. I love it. Howell Osborne, really nice guitar piece. I won't mention it again. Ray Price cover. Forest of the Wolf, Just Let Go, and Terrell, Only Love live performance with Jordan Smith cover. I'm going to stop there for now. And yeah, really cool stuff. I don't know how much my throat's going to last because of this. So I hope I can get through some of these. But yeah, no, it's really cool. And I mentioned the song Timber, and I really appreciate you following up on what I announced, the little challenge. I think there was a couple people also that did it, but I truly appreciate. I got an email the next day or a message the next day from Chris and saying that I want to get involved in this song Timber. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've been following it. They will announce when they're going to place your song at what date.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll keep you in the loop too when I.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I've got to release mine still.
I picked. There was 2 different time slots. You know, I picked the daytime one for my time. So.
Oh, very cool.
I don't know what else besides that happens, but.
So that's the thing with Chris is that he's so quick and so amazing with his songwriting and production. I mean, honestly, he could probably do a song every single day in September because I mean the ability he has is just so awesome.
And they're all
Chad.
great. It's
I
not
appreciate
just another song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
Quality.
Yeah.
Quality.
I appreciate that. Oh shucks.
Oh shit. So,
You got me all blushing over here.
yeah, right. So on that note, this next song that I chose is that song Timber submission, Human or Robot.
Love this one. So
Anything behind that before we hit play?
Just sort of, we're in a technical age, and I've heard these stories about, things coming through transmissions and Wi-Fi, and so maybe we're getting suggestions from something else, and plus the whole AI thing. It's just sort of it's more of a fun song, really, than anything, though.
Very cool.
I just wanted to do the little bebop boop at the end. That's all.
that is the best part. Absolutely love that every time it gets me. It's so good.
I just wanted to do that. Really.
Yeah, no, it's a good song too for this time of year as we're getting closer and closer. Fall and Halloween.
That's the one that I just I picked a little bit different of a beat, like to start with, and I'm like, oh, this almost has sort of a Devo like feel. So I said, okay, maybe I'll do some kind of futuristic robotic theme, because that beat kind of is a robotic beat where it's that off. It's
Yeah.
So it always reminds me of like. So
Right.
yeah. So I just rolled with it.
It's here.
Cool.
I snore so loud that I wake up out of breath. Can't breathe when I sneeze, my heart might skip a beat. Skipping beats to the rhythm of my mind, my thoughts seem out of sync. My feet can't catch up with my needs, I need time to think. I'm only human, or am I? Am I a robot? Are these ideas floating around in my head? Have they been programmed? Do I have free will, or is the outcome already known? Where
That's just classic.
Love it. Love it.
Love that.
That's the best part of the song.
Yeah. Yeah. So good.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it definitely did have kind of a Devo kind
Yeah.
of feel going on with
It's
it.
definitely not
Um,
my kind of normal sound, but it was just
Yeah.
fun.
I love
I
that
love
though.
Devo.
I love that about you is that you definitely push in different directions and try different things that you don't, because I would say, hardcore punk is kind of like your base, but
Mhm.
you definitely color outside the lines a lot.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting old now, so I figured I better do it before I die. So
Right. Do you
That's how I feel about
remember?
everything.
Do you remember when you first fell in love with music? Because obviously it's been a huge part of your life a long time.
yeah, and when I was really since I was a baby. I mean, my mom has stories of me like going crazy for the Funky Chicken song when I was like 2, just going nuts, like whoa.
Awesome.
And then, like she always had tunes blasting in her car, driving around the 70s. Like it was she liked more like the Beatles, but then she liked
Right.
dance music also. And then my stepdad, he was more of an acid rock guy, so we had a lot of Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and Janis Joplin, but he also liked the older stuff like Buddy Holly and whatnot.
Right.
So I always just had it in my life, and I always just loved it. There's certain songs that always set me off, and like I must have been 6 or 7 or 8 when the Knack, My Sharona came out, and I went nuts for that.
Nice.
I went nuts for that, and then like when I turned like 9, like my stepdad gave me like an old single speaker boom box, those cheap ones,
Mm-hmm.
and he gave me this Led Zeppelin cassette tape, and I carried it around religiously, just listening.
Mm-hmm.
And the one the one that has the Moby Dick drum solo on it, I forget which one that is, Led Zeppelin 2, I think.
Yeah.
And then I got the Scorpions Love Drive right after that.
Now
Listen
there's
to
a man
that.
after my heart. Not many people say that. I mean,
Yeah.
after Love Drive,
Yeah,
I turned the Scorpions off.
Yeah,
But
so I was really into that, and
yeah,
the very first Def Leppard album, Van Halen, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden. My first concert was when I was 10. I tagged along to a Judas Priest concert on Screaming for Vengeance tour, and my sister was like frying on LS. You know what? I guess I don't know. I don't want to get you a shadow banned or whatever, but she was like, "Get away from me" the whole time. So here I am, like with my other 9-year-old friend, just seeing all kinds of debauchery take place. 1982, I'm like, whoa, rock and roll, man. So
and then you actually started out in metal bands, right? When was your first
well,
band that you?
technically yes, but I mean we didn't play any shows and didn't have a drummer. So
Right.
there's one thing I did when I was like 14 called self-immolation. But that didn't last long, and then I started right up in punk rock, because like once, I think it was like 8th or 9th grade, I had I was into Slayer and more of the thrash metal bands, Venom and Exodus and all that, and Bathory. But this friend of mine who also liked that stuff, who's no longer here, but he introduced me. He gave me like an RKL album, a Christ on Parade, Battalion of Saints, all these old school hardcore punk bands, and I was just like sold. I was like, whoa, man, this is way faster. So
Right.
And when I was a kid, I was like, I just want to go as fast as I can. Cryptic Slaughter was one of those fast bands like that. DRI, of course, but that was also during the crossover era where metal and punk bands were kind of intermingling,
Right.
sort of influencing each other. So it was easy for me to get into punk rock at that time. Like I wasn't around for the original hardcore punk scene. I was like 10. I was going to Judas Priest concerts at that time. So,
Right.
but I do remember like being in Reno and 7 seconds were real big. Everyone had that big old Circle 7 patch on the back of all the skateboarders, which at the time I looked up to. So it was around. I just didn't really know what it was until a little bit later when I was like 13 or 14 or something. So yeah, I started playing in a really thrash hardcore band crossover. And then my first gigging band, I think, was in 87. And that was, or 88. And that was Backstab in 10th grade.
Wow.
And we opened up for like NoFX and SNFU, and we had some pretty good shows. And that was in Santa Rosa, California. Our singer threw a lot of the shows in that area. So played Attitude Adjustment, and we were supposed to play with RKL, but they canceled. So I got my feet wet kind of early, and
right.
And then, I just kept going, and I would take little breaks here and there, like when I had my son. I didn't play in a band for a few years then while he was a baby. It was just too hard to try to balance the two. And most of the bands were punk bands, but there was like one thing I did, I think when I was 18 or 19, it was called Shallow End. And that was more kind of post-grunge indie rock or something like that, with a little bit of a heavy edge maybe. And then Cold Spot was sort of down-tuned Sabbathy stuff, but for the most part, most of it's been, punk bands, and usually as a bass player.
And
Flesh Gordo, I just sang. I wrote everything and just sang and attacked the crowd.
Yeah. Flesh Gordo is the one I think I've seen some footage of the
Gordo,
crazy concerts.
All my teeth are chipped from getting the microphone slammed in my face, So that was my wild days.
So it's not just hockey players without teeth.
Yeah, it's also punk rock singers. Yeah,
it's funny.
Yeah.
And it was it during those days you were actually going into the studio and recording
always. All those bands. It was so new for me to like, wait, I could record my music on an iPad? What the shit? I was like blown away by that when I first learned. So yeah, because we spent a lot of money doing that, and sometimes it wasn't even that great. You'd still spend a lot of money for like 4 or 5 songs sometimes,
Yeah.
So
all right, I'm going to do some more shout outs here. Synthworks, Digital Butterfly, a great track. Darbus bass covers. Lodi, a CCR cover. Welton Kinder, Golden Falcon. Music Connects People, which is a friend of mine, Andriana Amakuchi. Tracy Melly. I met Tracy through Chad.
Oh, Tracy's fantastic.
Yeah. The Delicate Giants, Meteor, Michael Akazeeland, East Virginia Studios, my good friend Mary, she was here earlier from Italy also. She does some amazing, and that's where I first heard the Scorpions again. It's like, oh, people in this community know Love Drive, and it's funny because now I just saw Pookie put it out there that it's her favorite. You said that. It's like, wow, that's awesome. So much memories in the late 70s with that. Vintage Tone, Scars and Shadows, a beautiful track. Drew the Genius Music. Once again, the Lily Pillies, they had a release this week, premiere. It's Never Too Late. Marcus Cannell and Auntie G, a great duo. Dragonsdale Puppets always has some great stuff on their channel. Ask Surrender. It's a nice little skit. No Lake, My Moog Therapy. John Lemon and Lemonade, a great Canadian friend of mine, a brilliant composer. Please go check out John Lemon and Lemonade. Mark Wade, Emotional DK, I'm Pissed Off. Lunar Vibe, City Kids, a brilliant musician, brilliant guitarist. Brian Drums, Africa, Weezer cover. I saw Brian here earlier. He claims this show to be the best in all of his YouTube communities. Thank you, Brian.
Awesome.
Samantha Lee's Originals, Sweet Charity. Paula Benson, she's the loveliest person on YouTube. If you need a smile on your face, pick anything from Paula's channel, and yeah, it's a great channel. Everything she puts up is just beautiful. Unshackled Spirit, Six Semper Tyrannus. Way to go, Sal. Love you, brother. Frank Mel, Skepter. Anthony Rufo, Walking the Boards. I'm just going to continue on a couple more. No, I'm not. My throat's going to go. I'm going to stop there. Yeah, so do you plan to go play live again?
I think I might. It's just a matter of, because I was from California. That's where I was always. That's where all my friends are. We moved up here when the pandemic started, and when our California fires were starting to really, we were getting evacuated, and my uncle passed away in one of them, and it was pretty brutal. Look up the Santa Rosa fires in 2017. It was gnarly, but so I don't really know many people here in town. There is a little bit of a scene taking off. Most of the people are a lot younger. And I think I need to be sort of choosy about who I play with nowadays. I don't want someone who's, because, most of the time everyone's partying pretty hard in the punk rock scene. And I don't really necessarily want to be around people partying, anymore, just for my personal deal. But if I find the right person, yeah, I think so, because I do miss the interaction with the crowds, man. It's a lot of fun. A lot of times the punk shows are sometimes a little more important than the albums, So
yeah, the live performance for sure. Just so much energy.
It's just crazy, yeah.
Like the only time you get that energy in a live, let's say, metal band is on a big stage, where in punk you actually get it on a small stage.
Exactly. Some of my favorite shows were like 70 people packed really tight together.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but there was bigger shows there too, but the smaller ones tended to be a lot better. Sorry about that.
So good. Abe the Band, how you doing, brother? So thank you to Snooks for putting out all Son of Snake's links.
Thank you, Snooks.
Yeah, and
Yo,
Independent Many, DJ Big Red, and Folk Punk for posting all the shutouts. I appreciate you all, and Lori's Mishmash as well. Yeah, you're getting a lot of support. If do you have any? You do your BANDCAMP links. Because I wasn't feeling good, I usually ask for that over the weekend, but I didn't get any BANDCAMP. So if one of my wonderful mods can jump over to BANDCAMP and find Chris's, or you can post it yourself, or Ali can. You've got a green light to do that. Cool. Ali, if you have, because I was sick, normally I get this all ahead of time. If you have any links that you'd like to post, please feel free to do so. We're good.
Cool.
And you've released how many albums this year alone?
I think 2, but one comes out on October 1st also. I think I'm up to 6 albums right now since 23.
Amazing.
And this last album has 30 songs on it. And this is the last one. When the Night Comes Alive.
Yeah.
Artwork by Sasquatch Freeman. I rated my friend down in San Diego. This old punk rocker dude that's into Sasquatch. So 30 songs. You could actually download this for free over at BANDCAMP.
Yeah, 30 songs. That's amazing.
Why do you got it for free, if you don't mind me asking? Because that's only something that folk punk does.
It just needs to. I just want it to be out there.
I love it.
I'm not. I grew up in the punk scene. I never made money. So, like on tour, we made just enough money for gas and maybe a pizza. You know what I mean? Or beer for the night when we were, So most of our money came from merch, which is selling T-shirts.
Yeah.
I'm not really in it to. This is just to put it out.
Right.
I'm not. Doesn't matter to me if I have to pay a little bit out of pocket for things, and I'll send these CDs for free to you if you want one. I already sent about 20 something out. I still have 2 left from the last one. I sold out. I sent out 50 or so on that one. So, it's just, to me, it's just about putting it out. And if it hits someone in the right frame of mind and they hear what I'm trying to throw out, then I've succeeded.
So that's what I was going to say. Do you feel that basically when you were doing music in the past, when you were younger, it was more about the partying, and now it's more about the actual message of what you're putting out there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when I was young, there was also this mix of politics in it, because there's a lot of punk bands talking about Reaganomics and this and that back then. It was part of it. It wasn't always part of it. Not every band, not every band had that going on, but it was always kind of mixed in within my bands too.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it was a lot. It was partying. It's not like I did it to party. It was just, it came along with it.
Right.
Everywhere you went, there was drugs and alcohol and sex and everything else, and whatever, so if that's what's working for you, then no problem. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's, to me, it's just about, my sobriety is about me and my spirituality. So, and I would never try to push that on somebody.
Right.
Because I lived a pretty dirty life for a long time. So me trying to judge somebody for being in that state of mind wouldn't be right.
Good for you. Yeah, I can relate to that story. And to the fact that I was trying to do something live and I found myself right back into that scene, and I'm thinking, and then I tried through CA and NA rooms, I don't mind saying, to try to put something together, and had something lined up and 3 kind of disappeared. So it's like, maybe it's not meant to be. I'll just do something solo down the road,
Yeah.
But I respect with your style, it would have to be with the band. You have to find that right.
It would have to be the right situation for me to do at this point. And
Right.
I have a couple friends down in Santa Rosa that are actually on a similar path, and one's an ex-drummer of mine. So if he ever comes to Coos Bay, so but he's doing something down there now too called Slagathor, which they're a really awesome little band too. So, but it's just, at this point, I'm just putting the music out, and we'll see what happens. No expectations, just in a way, it's also therapeutic, just putting it out, with everyday life's problems. It's nice to be able at night to come in here, and I have all the lights turned off, and it's just the glow of the screen, and I'm just laying tracks down. So, I'm enjoying it.
Well said, D-Lin. Restoration comes before brokenness. Love it.
Yeah, for sure.
So the next song we have on cue is titled Billy. It's the first one you chose. Um, I know
Yeah.
Chad got really excited.
Yeah,
on
that's
this.
another one I really love.
Yeah.
Love this one.
Yeah, I like the groove of this one, but it's also it's kind of a fun one, but it's also talking about the whole Billy Meyer controversy. If anyone's ever gotten into ufology at all, you know who Billy Meyer is, and he's pretty controversial. But you know, it's just kind of like saying, "Hey, are you real? Is this real, or are you?" Because I know the phenomena is real, but I know that there are a lot of grifters and liars within the UFO community, I guess you could say. So it's just sort of wondering if that whole thing is real, you know. So
Basically, a UFO religion, right? Isn't that
kind of
Yeah.
well, but it's not really about that. It's just about if he was really experiencing those things.
right?
It's not
right.
talking. It's not.
No,
talking
but that's
so much
what he was. So
it became, and he's
basically.
like from Switzerland, I believe, and
Yeah.
it was really big in the 60s and 70s. I think he might even still be alive. I don't know. If he is, he's pretty elderly by now, but and there was that, you know, in the 50s and 60s, it did sort of become these pseudo religions, you know, some of these movements within ufology. And you have to be careful of that, you know, because you don't know. It could be all grift. It could be, you just don't know. But I do believe that there is a spiritual aspect to it, but I wouldn't call it a religious aspect.
Right.
You know?
Very cool.
So
Let's play Billy.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah. That's just awesome.
And that's one of the cool things about your music, because like that was one I remember when that one I first heard it, and I didn't know who Billy Meyer was, and I remember messaging you, and then I started looking into that. That's one of the cool things is that you'll go into these just interesting fantastical or even supernatural type of stories, things I guess that fascinate you.
Yeah, yeah.
And then do a song on it.
Yeah, maybe it'll kind of open people's mind to some things, whether they believe it or not.
Right.
And that's up to them. And I really don't know what the deal is with that. That's why I wrote that song. It's like, what's the deal?
Right.
What's the deal? Are you real? I know contact
Right.
is real, but are you?
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm sure if
Thanks,
the aliens are out there listening, they are a fan of Son of Snake.
Oh, they've been around a few times. I don't know if they're aliens, but
I wanted to say one thing because I thought of this earlier and I forgot to bring it up because you had mentioned Buddy Holly when you were younger. Being, I guess, something that was always played and kind of an influence. To me, Buddy Holly is kind of like a precursor punk in many ways.
Yeah,
as far as
absolutely.
what he did musically.
I agree.
Definitely a part of like the early wave that helped
definitely
push
and the early Kinks too.
Oh yeah,
the
definitely.
Kinks,
for sure.
all that garage rock band stuff was definitely like a precursor to punk, and it was kind of brought back with those early 70s bands like the Ramones and stuff like that. They had some of that influence in them.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that song there, Billy, that's off the last album, right? We hadn't even got into any of the songs on the new album yet, right?
No.
Yeah, that's off Intimate Encounters with High Strangeness, which I don't have CDs for that one. Because it's like I put that out and then all of a sudden this one was almost done. So I was like,
right.
So yeah, that one's got, I think, 21 songs on it.
Yeah, man, just amazing the amount of great stuff that you are able to do. I'm so impressed.
Thanks, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right,
I definitely
finish. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I definitely pour a lot of my heart into this stuff.
No, it shows, man.
Yeah, it shows.
Thank you.
It does.
In every track. Like I said, I'm a huge fan.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I get upset. I get pissed off. There's got to be a reason for me to miss one of your premieres. But it's honestly, I'm going to say a handful of people in our community, honestly, that are really looking forward to that premiere. And yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right, Ricocheted. I'm going to continue with the shoutouts of the premieres. Ricocheted, The Awakening, Sonic Grace, who is here. I just love that channel, Daniel. Just amazing stuff. It just lifts me up spiritually. I love it. Johanna Lynn, I saw you in here. The Crawl.
Big fan of Johanna Lynn. She's so awesome. Son of Snake, you were going to do a collab with her one time, right?
I'm ready anytime she is.
Oh, okay. I thought y'all had already got going on it. But man, she's doing such great stuff.
I know she was doing some traveling at the time and stuff like that. So. But I'm ready. Anybody wants to collab?
Maybe she'll come on the show too.
Yeah, maybe.
Chad, there's one to work on.
Oh yeah.
Roque wants to do a collab too. He just
that would be so amazing. I was a huge fan of him.
I would be honored to do anything with Roque. That guy's so talented.
That I'm like my thumb, so I don't lose my spot, is pretty much covering Roque.
Oh, and it's so good. That is a masterpiece that Roque put out. Oh, so good.
Hello, Viv. Yeah, that's my friend Joey G. Everything. Leroy's Musical Journey. Deed 1951. And yes, Roque Avelaneda. One More Spring. What a great track.
12 minutes long.
Amazing.
He took him 4 years to do that song, and man, it's so amazing. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, he's awesome, man. I just love that guy.
Yeah, I'd love to have Roque on the show as well. Gary Schaefer and the Picking Pilots, The Man I Wanted to Be. Really cool track. The Very Young and becoming ever so popular in our communities, 11 Drums. We met him all. We all met him through Lori's Mishmash. I think he's 16, 17 years old. Brilliant drummer. Adam Holtz, right now, Live to Fly, did Wild and Blue, a John Anderson cover. Really nice job, David. Hugh Caldwell, Flamingo Days, made for Lori's Mishmash Friday Night Hang. I do want to take a minute to boast Lori's Mishmash, this Friday Night Hang that she's doing. She offers, you might want to throw something in there, Chris. She'll get a backing track, and then you can just play whatever you want, like a minute and a half, 2 minutes to it. It's a lot of fun. It's just and then she plays it every Friday night. She has a different backing track every week, and just your own interpretation for a minute and a half, 2 minutes, whatever you want to throw on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Give me more info on that. I'd be down for that.
Okay, I will.
Cool.
I'll talk to Lori in a bit. Right now, this is about the time she juggles between Vince Chanella, who's going to be starting at 9. So we got Pseudoscience, that's Gorgium. Overloader, really cool track. Bow Star, Harvest Moon, Neil Young cover. Turtle Drum, Painting the Silence. Sylvia Blaster, This Path to Yourself, and Greg Hutto. Congratulations. Really cool stuff. We have Leela, that's Lurking, Rise of Dark Leela. She has a premiere tomorrow, Smoke Break. That's Tuesday, September 24th. It's 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. So please go check that out. Wes Herndon's in the chat. Another upcoming live and unplugged at the beach EP, October 1st. We just heard about you, and you're going to mention that. And then we got Mr. Hetriani, who's in the chat. My close friend. There's Lori. We're going to talk to Lori about that. Hetriani's album should be ready to be released soon. And we're going to be giving you all a date and having him on the show to follow it. I left a couple dates open in October. It should be fantastic. Yeah, I'm going to stop there for now. And so, Lori, if you can send us some more information to Chris here, Son of Snake, obviously, for your Friday night hang. Do something for one of those backing tracks. I don't know what you have coming up, which track you have coming up this week. Let me know and I'll forward it. So yeah, this the next song we have on is
touchy subject, right? Yeah.
Unless you had some other questions, this is all yours.
We go ahead and go to the next song because we still got quite a few to get to.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna play Touchy Subject. What do you got to say on this one, brother?
This was Touchy Subject is we were speaking of earlier about the sort of religion. And it's not meant to offend anybody. It's just, I was thinking about sort of what my grandfather went through and his parents. On the reservation, they were sent to what's called Indian schools. Forced assimilation into Western society, and including, Christianity and everything else. So my grandfather and his parents were very Christian and had sort of, even on their draft cards, they put Caucasian, even though they obviously weren't. So it was sort of, I started sort of thinking about that and about how many wars have been fought over religion, and religion can be a very, very good thing if it's for love and peace and helping each other, and but it also sometimes can cause some problems, and it's just sort of bringing those things up, and it's a touchy subject. It's a very touchy subject. Right. People get fired up about it,
right?
And it'd be nice to be able to have these conversations without you know, people want to possibly get violent or whatever else,
Right.
you know, or you know, or stop having contact and everything else like that. So it's just sort of about these things and about how it's always been a touchy subject.
Right.
And it would be nice if we could just talk about things and
Yeah.
not hate each other because of our differences or think that our way is better than yours or whatever else. So,
Right.
yeah.
Amen. Touchy subject.
Yep.
Forever on the top, seeing is believing. If I haven't seen it, it must not exist. A portion of the skeptical minds believe in God, till there was just a man in the sky. And they ever put eyes on him, and they ever converse, and they ever converse with him. For him and angel, they are not made. What if these things are related? What if they are what the Bible spoke of? What if, what if? Can it be that they were misinterpreted or they are gone? Not of a man in the sky, but all things. If all things are connected, and so are we. We're made of God, we are the blood, we are the one. Distant cousins, all brothers, seeing and believing. Seem so foreign and restricted. To be tethered to a model. Double standard on many levels. Do you dismiss the many credible experiences? All because you didn't see it, you didn't see it. Blind faith of a man in the sky. Outrageous special of millions of seers. If believing is seeing, what do you believe in? God, I know it's a touchy subject. We were born into this, it runs the lives of many. We were born into this, it ruins the lives of the non-believers. We were born into this, we spit at the flow of flesh and blood. Till we did not find God on our own, till we did not see what we did see. As it's made of scripture, I'll find it on my own. Not through another human, but through me. It runs within my veins. I break free of the bloody rage. I fight it on my own. I don't need a house to hold me. I'm born into this. It runs the lives of many. I'm born into this. It ruins the lives of the non-believers. I'm born into this. We stick it up all the flesh and blood. Till we can't find God alone, till we didn't see what we did see. And so it's been such a touchy subject.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, what I really like about that song is what I kind of took away from it was not only what you were talking about, but also the way that people can scoff at others if it's something, if you're talking about aliens, if you're talking about
Mhm.
Bigfoot, if you're just
Yep.
talking about things, anything of a supernatural.
Then it's automatically demons to them.
Well, and not
Which-
only that, it's or the
Oh, you're frozen. Oh, they must not agree with what he's saying.
Those demons
Somebody's
behind
shutting
you.
down.
Yeah. touchy.
There you
Got a
go.
little too
So,
touchy there, Chad.
yeah, no. So I mean, that's the thing. You could definitely go beyond just
Yeah.
religion of just
Yes.
when it's something that somebody else. It's different from their view of the
hmm
world,
hmm
the way that people can kind of shun you for that opinion
Well,
or
yeah. I
laugh at
mean,
you.
I just was reading something about this the other day, kind of has to do with what you're talking about. There's people that are experiencers, which I guess you can call myself and Allie and my mom that, and my son now too. But there's also people that are abductees, and I don't know what's doing it or who's behind it or whatever. There's all kinds of different theories, but some of these people have serious PTSD from these experiences.
Mm,
And I mean, it's almost like they're being sort of raped in some cases. And then people are laughing at you
mm.
and calling you crazy, but your whole family is going through this thing, and it's happening, man. I mean, it's like the government is actually sort of trickling these truths out, mainly through whistleblowers like Luis Elizondo and people like that. But it's been sort of slowly being leaked for the past 30, 40 years. If you do a little bit of research, you'll know that it's real. The government has even said, yes, it's real. They don't know what it is. But like I said, some of these people have serious PTSD from their experiences. I don't. I've had positive experiences, but maybe it's sort of like people. There's good and bad people. Like with anything, in nature, there's things that are aggressive and cold, and
Right.
there's things that are loving and whatever.
And
Who knows?
what were those experiences exactly? Can you go into that?
Sure. I always kind of be careful speaking of it in a community that some people are going to judge and think it's lies, but it's not. I tell the truth. Okay. These are things that have happened. When I was 2, I was with my grandmother. And this is the fuzziest one, but it's my earliest memory.
Mm,
I have memories of when I'm 2, a lot of them. One of them was we were walking to the store. Maybe I was a little older, like 4. We lived down Santa Rosa, walking to the store at night. And I said, "Whoa, what is this, Grandma? There's this red light above us." And I actually wrote a song about this called Fireworks, Bright Red Light. It's one of my earliest songs I wrote on the Son of Snake channel. Because she goes, "It's fireworks. It's just fireworks. Let's go." And she grabs my hand and we get out of there. And that's the last thing I remember. But that's my earliest memory. I've seen, my mom had a shadow guy for years. You can look at the shadow people phenomenon.
right.
And I've actually seen it. That was pretty scary growing up, because she'd wake up at these night terrors her whole life. And it was always the shadow guy standing above her, just staring at her with no sort of this amorphous shape of a shadow guy. And I saw it one night. We had conjoining bedrooms, and she was screaming. My stepdad's telling her, "Shut the hell up, shut the hell up." And she goes, "There's someone standing in the doorway." And there's this open doorway between our bedrooms. And he was standing right there. I saw him. Scared the crap out of me.
And
so what's that?
you and her saw, and your stepdad didn't though. Or
He didn't even look. Yeah,
Okay.
He was a pretty ornery drunk guy,
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I think that there are, like, some people do not see things.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what it is, and then there are
Yeah.
some people that they, for whatever reason, they're open to that and they do see
And
things.
they say that it's certain people that have, it's like your inner brain. I forget what it's called, the Abdullah or Amangala or something like that. There's this inner part of our brain, and if you look at Gary Nolan, he's a Stanford scientist. He's been studying this. He's a geneticist, but he's also an experiencer. He's seen these things. They've been in his bedroom, these beings.
Right.
He's discovered that people that are experiencers have their structure of that inner brain is different than other people's. So whatever that means, who knows? But yeah, I've seen, so when I started becoming spiritual, and this is like after I got sober, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't drunk, I wasn't on drugs. When I started doing the Lakota way of prayer, you know, Wakantanka, the lights came closer. I've kind of always seen them.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I was partying, I would see them out, and my friends would always be like, "How come they're always around? How come these things happen when you're around?" I'm like, I don't know. But I noticed that when I started getting spiritual, they started coming a lot closer.
Mm.
And that's kind of like right around the time when I got that download about doing music. Basically, this light was above me when I took the dog out one night. And there was a bunch of things that happened around this time. But this light I felt like something was looking at me up to my left. I look up and it's maybe 50 to 100 feet in the sky, low. And if you hold your arms out, you know, it's like that big. So it was big or
Right.
very close.
Right.
Solid white light, just stationary, completely silent. And at this time, I was already getting used to the whole phenomenon. And I just kind of went like this. I went, gotcha. And it goes, and it shrunk to nothing. It was like kind of playful. So as I'm walking inside, I was like, wow, that was pretty wild. But whatever, you know, I was kind of getting used to it. Like I said, I was just kind of playing with it. Gotcha. And it disappeared. I walked inside and all of a sudden I'm talking to myself under my breath saying, okay, I will put my music out. I'll put my music out. I promise. I just have to figure out the technology to do it. I have no idea what I'm doing. I will do it. Don't worry. I'll do it. I'll do it. And I'm like, wait, who the shit am I talking to? That thing just gave me like, it's like all this information without words. That's the only way I could put it.
Mm.
And since then I've did 250 songs. So I guess they got the fire lit, you know, relit in me, I should say. So, and then, you know, there was something in the house when I went right after that down to California to meet my grandson. Some kind of light, big light that was same kind of this bluish white light that lit up the whole house when I was watching some indigenous elders speak on this YouTube channel that I watch. Right when they said, it was weird. They go, this guy says, it seems like there's a lot of darkness in the world right now. We live in a world of duality. Earth is a world of duality. But don't worry, the light will come back and the light will always win because it's in charge. And right when that guy said that, there's this huge white light that lit up the whole house like someone was taking a picture on a flash bulb. I was like, whoa, what the? You know, I was like, wow, okay, things are happening. And then on that same trip, Allie and I saw things coming out of the ocean, leaving huge trails that must have been hundreds of feet tall of water sprouted out. And I have video of it. So it's not like it was just in our minds. Of these things that were coming out of the water and leaving these giant trails. And when I blew up the picture and turned the contrast up, you could see that they're a white, whatever they are. Right. They're bright white. And they were all over where we were looking. It was nuts. So things have been happening more. Now that part of it has sort of slowed down in the last few months. When my mom was really sick, they were here. Something was in her room. Left a light. She had no circulation on her leg, almost lost her leg. She woke up and that spot on her leg had this glowing white light on it. And she goes, wait, who did that? Who did that? And she heard this voice say, we did. And she instantly went back to sleep. Well, that same night, we were going to take her to the ER for surgery in the morning. So the same night, I woke up to what looked like a giant gray cat. We don't have gray cat. I woke up to basically something hurt me right here. Like, and I went, ow, and it hurt. I woke up. I was like, what the? And there was this gray cat right here where I am. My bed's right here. And this thing was up here, but it took off that way super fast into the closet. And I was like, what? So I woke up, and I didn't know what had happened to my mom that night. It wasn't until I woke up with blood all over my hand. 2 pinpricks. One here, one here. I have a picture of it. And I thought, well, that was weird. I don't know what happened, you know. I didn't think much of it until my mom tells me what happened to her when we were at the hospital the next morning. She drew the picture of what was on her, and then I was like, wait a minute, something was in our house. And she didn't have any circulation in that leg at all. They were getting ready to possibly lose that leg. Later on that day, they found circulation in one tiny spot where that light was.
Wow.
Make of it what you will, but it's a true story.
Right.
And that's one of my. I actually wrote a song about that too, because I write a lot about my experiences.
Right.
And that song, "Healed Not Hurt," is about that experience.
Right.
So you could look back on that too. So yeah, there's just things happen, and then the way my uncle explains it is, he says that's your family. Those lights are your family. What he means by that, I don't know, because it didn't go into detail. And that's sort of the native way. You just got to figure it out for yourself. I wasn't raised around it, so I'm kind of learning it at this point in my life.
Right.
But he goes, that's your family. Don't be scared of it. It's your family. So whatever that means.
All right, I'm gonna do some more shout outs here. There is a little section that's just amazing stuff. And you had me when I started my road to recovery 19 years ago. Before I shout this, I just want to say one thing, because I almost forgot about this little story. Is I walked out of a CA meeting, and I was just feeling high. Just, man, this was, many of you know what I'm talking about. If early in recovery, it feels like every meeting was made for you, that kind of thing. So I left this meeting feeling so high. I walked across the street. But that's not what happened. Was I'm at the curb and somebody pulls me back. But I had already walked across the street and got hit by a bus.
Wow.
Like, I saw the bus right in front of my face.
Whoa.
But all I know is this guy going, whoa, and the bus is right there. It's like, oh, shit.
Whoa. That's a good story, man.
Yeah, so you brought that back to me. It's
that's cool. I'm glad that memory can come back, because those things happen, man. There's more to this world than the physical.
Sure.
I think if more people realize that, there wouldn't be as much hatred and indecency and meanness, you know, if we realize, hey, there's a lot more here, and we're part of something a lot bigger, you know.
Right. It's about being open and realizing how connected we all are, and not just us, but whatever else is
everything in the
there.
universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Every rock, every plant, and not to sound like a hippie, it's just the indigenous belief that I have.
Right.
Is that every single thing is connected and just part of something bigger.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Doing for others. We have Dan Anderson, Independent Many United. These are a bunch of, there's so many people out there that do so much for so many. But these are just a few that I wanted to mention. Of course, we have Lori's Mishmash. And again, she does so much for so many people in these communities. Leni Perez, Read Between the Lines. We got Rebel Rocker, Feisty Feather, DJ Big Red 81, who's does so much work, folk punk and him behind the scenes here, and does so much for so many on his website, in this community. You all know what he does, and it means a lot to me and the community pulse here. Crimson Crux, I hope you're feeling better. Queen Survivor, thank you for continuously sharing our shows and stuff like that. And then we have some milestones. I know Dom was here earlier. Happy birthday, Dom.
Yeah, happy birthday,
Happy
Dom
birthday.
Father.
Yeah, and that's really the milestones that I have, unless I missed something, DJ. And yeah, I'm going to stop there. We got-
DJ Big Red is awesome, and man, if because he doesn't have that many subs, people go over if you're not subbed up to DJ Big Red. That
Yeah.
schedule that he puts out is so tough to keep up with all of that and post that.
Absolutely.
I mean,
And
that's
he's on it.
amazing.
and for yeah,
Thanks,
I
DJ.
wanted to shout out real quick. My good buddy Pole Vault. He has
Where
been
is he?
streaming on Fridays. He's sick right now. He's actually with 106 temperature.
Oh.
But yeah, he streams
Yikes.
on Fridays, 10 p.m. Eastern. A weekend warm up with Sunshine is always a lot of fun. And then Valerie Bott, who I'm sporting one of her shirts. She's always amazing. If people aren't watching her streams on Friday early in the day, and then also on Sunday.
yeah, fantastic. She was coming up next, and I don't have pole vault now that so we got to talk about it if he's on a Friday. We'll go over that, or just email me his. I got to go check it out. So I missed something.
Yeah, 10 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, he started a little while back, and then like he even did like a BANDCAMP Friday show where he played music off of BANDCAMP.
Very cool.
So yeah.
All right. So this is my favorite part of the show, and it's the pianist composers section of the show. This is I put this together because I truly, we're talking about the undersubbed and all that. I truly think that the pianists and composers that I've seen in our communities do not get enough love. They're a brilliant talent, brilliant part of our community. I love all these. I think there's 11 different artists that I'm featuring in this little montage that I put together. And again, please go check out all these talented musicians, the pianists of our community. And the song, the
DJ Big
artist,
Red is questioning the way you're saying that word, but that's okay.
this,
I just say piano players. I leave it at that.
yeah. So yeah, no, no, I'm not even gonna repeat that. Listen, for your Halloween show, I'm gonna dress up just like DJ Big Red. Is that okay?
Awesome.
All right. So yeah, I guess I should hit play. And Lori's Mishmash is featured song here. Well, how do we destroy such a fine word like penis? Like, how does this community scoot so low to destroy such a nice word?
It's DJ Big Red. It's all his fault. All his
It's
fault.
everybody. But yeah, all joking aside, please go support these channels. They do so much. Metalhead Hippie, how you doing, brother?
Hey, Hippie. Good to see you.
Yes. And yeah, so back to this. Don't forget, all at 9:00. It's already passed. Vince Janella, his stream has started. Metalhead Hippie. I'm gonna check to see if I did this right. I set up a little dump. Yeah, I'm trying to learn how to dump. And let's see if this has just gone. Yeah, Nippleback. I'm glad he's not here. I'd be saying Nippleback, penises, and dumps.
Yeah, where's pole vault when you need him too?
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. So that's the Lily Pillies is in the house. As you all know, he is the featured channel for this week. So please go click that. And great premiere, Manny. All right, Chris. Do you want to get into medicine, friends?
Sure. Yeah, that's pretty simple concept on this one. Basically, it's we look at our pets as friends and family.
Yeah.
And they're good medicine. So it's about treating them right. We had just lost our cat, I think, right about when I wrote this song. She died here in our arms. The clinic was closed, so we would have had to drive 2.5 hours to, get her put down. So we just gone through that, and it was just sort of an appreciation to our medicine friends. Pretty simple concept, and it's the opening song on the album. So I think it's just important to treat them as family.
Yeah,
100%.
great message. Great message.
Fantastic. All right.
And there's Axe and Nacho. Hello.
Next.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I love that. And
You're an amazing, sorry, Chad, just
oh
an
yeah, no, he is.
incredibly
He is.
talented
He is.
songwriter. And
Yeah.
then
Thank you, man.
I
I appreciate
shouldn't,
it.
me as a songwriter, I shouldn't need somebody to explain before I hear the song, but you've just given me a whole different perspective on all your, like, your songwriting is incredibly amazing.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Thank you.
For sure.
I appreciate it. Been doing it a long time, I guess. I don't know. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm so. There's a lot better songwriters out there than me, I think. A lot in this community, I think. So
Well, and that's the thing though, is like we talked about this before the show, but and you briefly touched on it about how basically you set out on this path to start putting this music out there, and you had to teach yourself all these different things. I think the important thing is to keep moving and keep doing, and as you go, the more you do things, the better you're going to get, regardless of what it is. And I think you know as I've known you, in this year and a half or whatever, I feel like that you've even gotten better as far as your songwriting. So
thanks. It's a lot of it. I think in the early Son of Snake stuff, I was a little bit limited by not knowing how to program the drums, so I had to keep it pretty basic.
right.
So now, especially being in Logic now, and they've updated the drummer in Logic. You could manually put in accents and everything. Because I was always one of those songwriters that drove my drummers nuts. I'd be like, you have to accent this part and that part and that part. That's what's going to make it more dynamic sounding. So I have a lot to learn when it comes to the engineering side of things. But the songwriting I've been doing a long time. I don't even know how many songs I've written. No clue. Thousands.
Yeah,
I don't know.
amazing.
I don't know.
The ability to basically tell these stories in such a short amount of song as well is really quite amazing, because
Thank you.
be able to do that and get it in there and to have it come across, it definitely does.
And to be able to sing all those words so short together.
Yeah. So
I appreciate it.
definitely a lot of respect for that.
Thank you. Thank you. I truly appreciate those kind words.
And you had mentioned, a lot of great songwriters and such in the community. Just out of curiosity, not just community, but in general, who are some of, like, your influences? Who inspires you lately when you're working on things? And
okay, lately I've been listening to a lot of this band called Seized Up, and I think they're from Santa Cruz. It's the guys that were in a band called Blast in the 80s and the 90s. Well, mostly the 80s. And they were, the way I say Blast sounded was they were like a heavier version of the heavy Black Flag stuff. It was when the hardcore punk took over from the regular old punk. And Seized Up is similar to that, just a lot cleaner sounding, better recording, obviously, nowadays. In the 80s, a lot of those punk recordings were just kind of terrible.
Right.
Because, it was just, you recorded where you could.
Right.
So now everybody has access to either really nice studios or even just in-home studios. But this band Seized Up, I've been listening to a lot lately, and they're semi-new, even though they're older dudes doing it. They're rocking right now. There's this band called Nightbirds. They were more going about 10 years ago, but I just love their stuff still. And I've been listening to a lot of that lately. But there's a lot of the new wave bands that I like, to be honest with you. I like a lot of new wave. Obviously like Devo and everything like that, but there's a lot of these kind of obscure sort of post-punk, not obscure, I guess they were kind of known at the time, but you mentioned it now, like Magazine, this band Magazine. Not a lot of people know of them. I think Gang of Four, I really like that stuff, even though it's not really what I'm playing. It's
Right.
There's something about that music that influences me in a way.
Right.
And then also Valiant Thor is another band. I think they're from North or South Carolina. Valiant Thor is actually along the lines of Billy Meyer and everything like we're talking about.
Right.
It's this story from the 60s of this supposed Venusian alien. But anyway, this band named themselves that after that story. But their music is just rocking. And they're not real punk rock, but they're more like, they have a punk influence, but they're just like really raw, really killer rock and roll, but fast.
Right.
Like, somewhat metal, but not really. They're just somewhere in between. You'd have to look and listen to them. But there's always, there's just so many great bands, there's just so many great bands out there. And, for me, I really like listening to Roquet's stuff.
Oh yeah. He's so
just
good.
because the technical part of it and the way he puts things together, and he's just like this unsung genius within this community, man. The guy is a musical genius, just a genius.
Yeah, I agree.
But I really like Gordium's stuff, and there's this, Frank's always great. Like I said, I was saying earlier, in this house here, we just love your voice, man. It's just like it fits so perfectly with the tunes, and it's such a distinct. I love the graveliness to it. It's also soft, but with a little bit of gravel. It's amazing.
Thank you.
So, but there's just so many. Like pole vault stuff is always cool to like turn the lights down and light a candle and just play that. And it's like, whoa, takes you to another world.
Right.
But there's just so many, and within this community and the world in general.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. It is for me because
especially with
so
social
much
media.
good stuff. Yeah, with
social media and YouTube and BANDCAMP and Spotify. I mean, there are so many bands. I'm also kind of softly joining this Facebook sort of punk community through this guy Tim, who does he's in a band called Even Without Life, EWL. He does an indie community like review show that I've gotten some play on recently. But there's a whole group of bands there that are just amazing, and it's just like there's just so much stuff, man. I like my friends down in Santa Rosa that are all playing still, like Slagathor and Right to Remain and M Section, Wabash Cannons in San Diego.
Yeah.
There's just so much, so much.
Yeah, several of those you just mentioned were ones you introduced to me that I played on my show. Yeah, Wabash Cannons, love them. Yeah,
Nikki is awesome. She's doing sort of an alt country act now too down there, like outlaw alternative country.
Oh, awesome!
Like a bunch of old punk rockers that are playing country, because I guess half the punk rockers end up turning into like greasers or something, rockabilly people.
Right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, she's doing that too. So that's cool stuff.
Awesome.
There's just so much, man.
The next song we have on cue is Hair Tongue.
Yeah, I'm curious about this one because I'm just like, I don't know what this is about.
It's a reoccurring dream that I've had throughout my life, and I read up on it, and apparently it's like when you feel you're not being listened to or heard, you have this dream of pulling hair out of your tongue and your mouth and your throat. Like I would have these dreams where I'm like pulling out mouthfuls of hair, and it's really gross and annoying, and you can almost feel it getting plucked out of your tongue. And I just wrote a song about it after I
Yeah,
kind of read what it
horrifying,
meant.
horrifying.
It's terrible, terrible, terrible
All
dream.
right.
But it makes for a fun, weird song, I guess.
Right.
Let's hear it. Hair tongue.
I keep on having dreams where I'm pulling all kinds of hair out of my throat. And when it starts coming out my throat, I'm pulling it right out of my throat. Woo! Well, I must be feeling like I'm not being heard. And you must be loving me more than I know at a subconscious level. I have a head turn. My soul must be telling me someone's not hearing me. It's all me, so best someone that I haven't dealt with probably all my fault. I've had to learn to hold it in so someone else wouldn't implode. I think what it's done to an only son makes me feel like I might explode. I have a head turn. My soul must be telling me someone's not hearing me. It's all result that's coming that I haven't dealt with. It's probably all my fault. I have a head turn. Head turn. I cannot breathe in the air. I have a head turn. Head turn. I'm choking on mouthfuls of hair. It's everywhere. Someone wake me up in this dream. I've had quite enough. I just keep pulling up mouthfuls of hair. I'm popping out, choking up, spitting it out everywhere. It's disgusting, man. My soul must be telling me someone's not hearing me. It's all result that someone that I haven't dealt with probably all my fault. I have a head turn. I have a hair turn. Hair turn. I'm very stuck full of hair. I have a hair turn. Hair turn. When will the sky be aired? I've already pulled out pounds of hair. It's endless amounts. I have a hair turn.
Damn. How good is that?
Terrible dream to have, though.
When's the last time you had that? Is it still a recurring thing?
No, no. It was, I don't know, a few months ago. 6 months.
Well,
maybe.
from 6 months ago, then yeah, that's pretty recent.
It's pretty recent, yeah.
I was wondering if once you started putting, the newer stuff out, if it kind of decreased at all or helped
Yeah,
at
it
all.
just stopped. It just stopped. So that's a good thing because that's a terrible dream.
So it hasn't happened in 6 months. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
But throughout my life, I've had that same one. I never knew what it was. It was
Right.
always just like terrible.
Yeah,
It's like you're choking and can't breathe.
right. Huh. I
Not to
never
get
had
too
that.
graphic.
I used to have dreams when I was younger where I was trying to speak and I couldn't speak and I would be yelling and I couldn't,
yeah.
nothing would come out. And then I would wake myself up screaming. And I haven't had that in forever, but it
could
sounds like
be-
it's kind of along the same lines.
Could be similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be similar. I've had dreams where I've like tried to run and I'm not going anywhere,
Hmm.
but not for a long time. But that's another one
Right.
that was kind of,
Right.
yeah. So,
I'm curious about your videos because I know that video is all something that you had just learned here in the last year and a half. In fact, your first video, my buddy, it was before I got back into any sort of editing, and I had messaged my buddy David Rosen, and he had suggested a site, and you were using that. And then since then, you've progressively just gotten better and better with your videos. And now I'm just curious how you do that, like that video we just watched.
So I was doing that AI thing for a while, but I
Mhm.
found that to be kind of divisive within the music
Right.
scene. And I didn't want that. You know,
Right.
I was just, I don't have the money to pay an artist a lot. Although I did
Right.
for this last album cover, but it was very inexpensive. He charged me $60.
Yeah, and I love
And
it.
I
Love it.
love that old punk
Yeah.
rock style he did, but with weird
Yeah.
stuff in it, you know.
Yeah.
But so I was doing the AI like pictures basically,
Mhm.
putting together with I would basically type my lyrics in
Right.
and get these images and then paste them together all on Adobe. Like Adobe program I have on my phone. And I still use that as an editor, but what I'm doing is so like I'll use like the album cover and all the songs from that album. I try to incorporate it somehow within the video. And then I'll take pictures that I find either in Adobe that are basically free to use or,
Mhm.
you know, there's no copyright on them, or find copyright free things as much as I can. And then I'll take the main image. I'll take those images aside now, what I'm doing, to make it this graphic image looking thing,
Mhm.
kind of like the old punk rock style almost. And I'll basically with the eraser system in there, erase out all the background of that image except for the actual image I want. Take out all the background, and then attach it onto whatever artwork I'm using, like the album cover artwork.
Yeah.
And then also, typing in the lyrics. Now I'm doing that too, because sometimes you probably can't understand what I'm saying. And then, I'm doing, and then I could put in whatever animation I want, whether it's blinking or
Right.
flashing. And then just kind of doing 5-second clips. I take all those clips, download them onto my photos, and then from there, put them into iMovie.
Gotcha.
And then piece them together. I'll put my song in there and put the images accordingly to what part of the song it is.
Right.
So it's a little bit of a process, but I've gotten pretty
Yeah.
fast at it.
So Adobe creating the images and then the segments and then
Like
iMovie.
editing them, and they're in Adobe.
Yeah.
And then iMovie just to piece them together into the video form.
Very
Nice.
cool.
Pretty basic stuff, pretty basic stuff.
But a lot of work. A lot of work.
There's a lot of work into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was telling you earlier, like I went to school for graphic arts when I was younger. I dropped out, but I'm kind of using some of the things I learned there now. Something I'd kind of forgotten about over the
Right.
years, so
Right.
it's kind of cool to put that to use instead of just being a screen printer like I was for so long. Before I was a butcher, I was a screen printer. So
Very cool.
Yep.
So we've got number 7, and we're good time. The last song you've got. So before this one's Sludge Feeder.
Slug
Everyone
feeder. Yep.
except me.
Mhm.
Now, so we have Son of Snake, and now you've combined.
No, so it's something separate.
Okay, cool.
Slug feeder is actually with a drummer.
Yeah.
And it's my old friend that I used to work with years ago. He's in Colorado Springs. He runs the record label that Son of Snake is on, and Slug Feeder. Basically, he'll send me. We have one album. It's called Anticipation, Not Penetration, a drummer's term, not a dirty thing.
Yeah.
And
Remember who we
I
have
have
in
to
this
say that,
community right now.
Not a dirty thing.
You know they're going to twist that around.
So yeah, so he will just send me a track with drums on it and electronics. And this is not a punk band. It's more of I guess you could call it electronic jazz punk or something, or I don't know.
Yeah,
It's-
definitely
it's-
experimental. Yeah, experimental.
It's a little more experimental. He likes a lot of electronic music. He's done the whole punk thing and everything, but he'll play his live drums, and then he'll also loop in loops and keys and whatnot. And he'll send me this track from beginning to end, and I make it kind of my job to not alter it at all. I don't piece anything apart that he sends me, and I have to write the song accordingly to what he sent me. So it's kind of been a cool challenge. And you know, we have the album out, but this song that you're playing here is not. It just came out as a single on a compilation that we're doing on Anonymous Collective Music out of Colorado. So it's just two of us. I play the guitar and bass and vocals. He does the drums, electronics, and it's been fun, like branching out, you know, my inner new waver, you know. It still has a punk vibe, but it's also got something else going on. It's electronic and a little more modern sounding, I guess.
Yeah, definitely a fusion going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, for sure.
And we've got, we're going to be doing more. We did the album, did a bunch of CDs. They all sold out in Colorado. So people are digging us there. So if I could ever get my butt there, maybe we'll do some shows.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, but we're gonna do more music. He has more pieces to send me, so we'll be doing probably either another single or like a 3-4 song single or a full length. I'm not sure, but it's gonna still be happening.
All right.
Yep, Slug Feeder.
Everyone except me.
It knows when division
Heck yeah. Which that track reminds me, and the fact that you're doing the slug feeder stuff.
Mhm.
You mentioned this early on, but you definitely like to do collabs. I've
Yeah.
done a number of collabs. I've pushed you
Mhm.
into a couple, but why
Yeah.
don't you talk about collabs for a minute? Who you've collabed with, who you know in the community you would like to collab with, what kind of things are you open to, that sort of thing.
Well, I'm kind of open for anything. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But let's see, I've worked with Valerie. I've worked with Pole Vault. I've worked with Development of a Void. I'm forgetting somebody.
I know you had the one with Nikki.
Oh, Nikki from Wabash Cannons. Yeah, we
Mhm.
did a single.
The drummer Alice.
Oh, Alice. Yeah, Alice
Yeah.
YT from UK.
Um,
I think I was supposed to do one with Hugh and Mr. Smith. I don't know, a Dead Kennedys cover or something like that. But that one, I don't know what happened. But and then I'm supposed to do one with Lynn, which I was really looking forward to as
oh
well.
yeah, yeah. I'm excited for that one whenever that
I
happens.
would love to. And then I'll probably with Roque be doing
Yeah.
one with him. I'm trying to get my friends in Santa Rosa to get into that kind of thing, but
Right.
it's a whole different world. Like when you're gigging and it's like, what, YouTube? What? I don't know what that is, you know? And so,
Right.
you know, like these are like pretty big bands, some of them, and they got like 2 followers or something on YouTube. And it's like,
Right.
you know, you can get more fans if you do it, but whatever. So,
Yeah.
but I'm really down for anything. I don't have a preference when it comes to doing collabs. You know,
Yeah.
I'll work with anybody. It'll be fun. You know, switch things up a little bit, and
Right.
you know, I'm into it.
Yeah. That's one of the things that I love about Chris is that, I mean, I'll have an idea for something. I'll come to him, and he's like, "Oh, sure." And then, like the next day, he'll send a link. Here's the music. I'm
Yeah,
like, "Whoa,
yeah,
what? What?" With the whole thing with Valerie, it was just like
yeah. Oh,
that
I have that.
quick.
Speaking of which, I have that movie song, Stu, that you haven't used.
Oh yeah.
The,
You did a
the
theme
ham
song
driving,
for me. Yep, I'm gonna
ham
be
driving.
doing that at some point.
Okay,
Yep,
okay,
for sure. I
cool.
know there was one with a rapper we tried to get you to collab with,
I have
and
that halfway done.
he disappeared, didn't he?
Yeah, he disappeared. It's a
But
pretty
yeah,
good rap song, except for the part that's missing.
so
Um,
but yeah, so
and
musicians, I mean, get in
yeah,
touch with
I'm down.
Chris because he's definitely open to do collabs, and doesn't have to be punk, but he can
No,
definitely bring that flavor.
I really like surf music. So that's something that I've always wanted. I was actually just telling Allie this a couple weeks ago that if I was to do like a different band, it would be kind of cool to
Hmm.
be in a surf band,
Mm,
like surf rock,
nice,
sort
nice.
of
There's
punk,
one.
but not really. You know.
Yeah, Laurie is fantastic.
Yeah,
That would
I'm
be a
down,
great
Lori.
combo
I'm
right
down.
there. Yeah.
She gets shit done.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
No, Laurie's another one of those that is just absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic.
Cool.
I'll send her a message to say this, and then boom,
Cool.
a week later it's done.
As soon as you
Cool.
started this conversation, I was looking here because I knew any second now she's
Yeah.
gonna pop her head out or finish
Yeah.
that smoke she's having.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that would be awesome. I'd love to hear
And she
do-
loves
Laurie with.
surf music.
Okay. Let's do a surf
Oh,
song.
super cool.
Now on this album, I actually have a surf song, and it's called Sand Shoe. Something I didn't mention before is that my stepdad, growing up, he grew up down in Southern California, and he would go to Dick Dale's
Mm.
parties. He would throw these. He goes, I don't know if the guy, because he was a kid. This is before Dick Dale got real popular, but he goes, he had this mansion like in Malibu or something, and he goes, dude, it looked just like those old surf movies, you know, with like kids dancing around the fire,
Right.
and he would play live on his back deck, and my stepdad would go to those parties. So I grew up listening to a lot of Dick Dale too. So that's
Nice.
probably where that love for that kind of music comes from. And there's always been an influence in some of the LA punk bands from surf music.
Right.
You know, DI, especially Adolescence and DI.
It's speaking of the surf music, that kind of spills over into the stuff that you have coming out in October, because that and a lot of your Halloween type music kind of have some of
I guess
that too.
you could hear that probably in those tunes. October 1st, I actually recorded these songs like literally the week after last year's Halloween show that we did.
Right.
So, but I've been sitting on them and kind of forgot about them until recently, and kind of finished them up recently. So there's 10 songs coming out. It'll be on Spotify. I think I'm going to call it, it's a goofy name, but it's kind of a goofy album. The sound of it is sort of this campy Halloween music, similar to Monster Mash or that era of music. There's a bunch of that kind of Halloween music that came out during that time of the sort of early, I think 60s or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's sort of themed with that, with it's a little bit of a punk influence, but you know, you can still hear my style, but it's sort of campy. And I kind of sing some of the songs in sort of that goofy vampire voice. And
Herman and the Munsters.
Yeah,
Herman
there you go.
Munster.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, the Monsters theme song, I get that vibe, and the Batman theme song, I get that kind of vibe.
Yeah,
yeah. Like I have usually on a lot of the songs, I'll have one sort of clean guitar track, you know, not acoustic, but like clean, surfy sounding, and then one sort of fuzzy, distorted to mix it up. Whereas, you know, a lot of the Son of Snake is all kind of distorted, but and it's slower. Most of it's slower. Some of the songs, so I've got like a young Frank. Some of it's based after movies that I like. I have one based after Young Frankenstein called Frankenstein's Lab.
Oh, wait a second. That's cool. Wait, how come it did it for him?
Yeah, that was weird.
How did you get that bubble?
I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. But so I've got one after that. I've got one after Return of the Living Dead. I've got one after the movie Slither. Then I've got a couple, like I've got one like when I was young, one of my nicknames was Little Wolf. So I have a song called Lonely Little Wolf, and it's about the werewolf that's lonely. And I use the copyright-free images from I Was a Teenage Werewolf, Michael Landon movie. So I use like his body with my goofy faces pasted over top of it.
Yeah, the stuff you do with these videos is pretty fun.
I'm making them totally goofy, and so like I make my head super big on the bodies. I try to when I can.
Yeah. So we are going to be featuring several of the videos, probably 5 or so of his Halloween ones on the show that I'm doing October 8th. It's on Green Eggs and Ham, called Macabre Melodies. So going to do half the show with Tabitha Raines and Halloween stuff, and then Son of Snake the other half. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, so this month of October is going to be you must go over to Chad's channel. I will continuously promote it and stuff. And if you have any short little reels, you can just send me the MP4 and I'll pop them out on my channel also.
Cool.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun month.
Yep, for sure, man. Good time of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this time of year. And I want to let everybody know that Vince Janella's stream is probably started, and that's cool. But at the end of this, I'm going to dump everybody or redirect. So it's called redirect, not a dump. That's why I couldn't find it on my YouTube channel. I kept putting dump in the search and said no. Shit.
Yeah.
But I want to say thank you, Chris, for coming on the show. It's a pleasure. You're a brilliant artist, and like I said,
Thanks, man.
the biggest perk doing this is getting to meet the artists behind the scenes and to find out a little bit more about you. And I'm sure everybody here, I keep seeing Metalhead Hippie here. I would love for you to send some music to him on a Friday afternoon. I know you tried to. It's too much for you with work and everything, and life happens. But on a Friday evening, usually in the U.S., he's playing the music from the U.S. around the 6 p.m. mark. 6, 7. Yeah. It's pretty cool. I would love to hear more of the music out there.
Yeah, I'll go to his channel and check out where I'm supposed to send it and everything.
Just his email.
Cool.
Yep. metalheadhippie@yahoo.com.
Easy to remember.
Yep.
Easy to remember. Well, thank you for having me, man. I'm truly appreciative and honored that you asked me to come here, and thank you to you, Chad, for all the work that you do through the community, both of you. And thanks to everyone in chat for hanging around and listening and being kind. I love that.
Yeah. No, I'm so honored to have been invited to be here, Frank. Thank you so much. It's just amazing the community and the people that I get to meet and become friends with and hang out with, and so much respect and love for so many people. Huge fan of you, Chris. Frank, you as well. You are amazing. Absolutely love your most recent track that you put out.
Thank you.
It's so good. And we got Son of Snake and Frank Terzo and Lily Pilly's a part of this show, and then somehow I'm thrown in the mix. But appreciate it.
Well, I've promoted you as one of the nicest, kindest, most generous persons in this community.
Thank you.
Especially when you told me you don't have to promote my channel anymore because I'm not doing any music streaming right now. And it's like, I'm keeping you in there, buddy. And again, this is, like I said, Folk Punk and I were talking about it months ago when you put together that community get together is how we came up with the idea. I think what you did was wonderful. And at that time, it was really important and it helped. And so I appreciate the little idea you gave us. And I'm so happy you came on, Chad, and I'm glad that you want to get more involved and bring more people on.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm looking forward to whoever. Same goes for you, Chris. If there's anybody you want on, one of the criteria is you have to show your face, and that's why we got DJ Big Red to unveil that. I'm going to dress up as DJ. Did I mention that for Halloween?
Yes, you did. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
No, I think that'd be great to have Chris on.
Anybody too much.
Chris on as a co-host and have him pick an artist. That'd be super cool.
Yeah. I'm down for that, for sure.
That's what I love the concept of this show. It's a lot of love, a lot of positivity. And like I said, I know there's always going to be people that are upset they're forgotten or get overlooked or whatever, but there's so much stuff and there's so many.
Much. I mean,
there's so much talent.
A page and a half of shutouts, and sometimes the show just goes on, and you can't really interrupt it, especially when there's good topics like that we had. I honestly, I try not to let that bother me, only because I know what I'm doing, and I know what I'm doing is to the best I can do, and it's to help all. And
all you can do is what you can do, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
and you do a lot. So
thank you.
Welcome.
All right, everybody.
Great show.
Thank you very much, everyone. DJ Big Red, if you can pay attention to see if I did the redirect correctly, that would be helpful. And once again, thank you all for coming out here. Thank you, Lori, Snooks, DJ Big Red, Folk Punk, Metalhead Hippie, Independent Many United, and I know I'm going to miss so many. Thank you all for coming out, and we're going to close this out with Liz a Day.
Cool.
Yeah, there's another one that you're in the mix with there, Chad. Liz a Day's.
She's a big Halloween fan too, so
there you
I
go.
sparked her to get a new track together that one she had been working on. But yeah, no, love Liz.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's cool.
So we're closing out with her song that she so generously allows us to play as our closeout track. And have a good night, everybody. Love you all.
Bye.
Love, positivity.
We are, we are, we are, we are. 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 Sister, brother, father, mother, we are one and the same. We are friends, chosen hearts, shared a force of nature. We are family, forever like a diamond, special treasure. We shine. Family. Are we not part of one another? Our love is gold. Family. We are family. We are family. We are family. We are family. Your life could get in the way sometimes, but no matter whatever, ever hot the cards, we'll weather it together wherever we are.